going on there, guys? We're back with another one, and Shannon Sharpe has responded to Shaq's comments. And this whole thing started after Shaq called out Nikola Jokic on Inside the NBA on TNT. Well, he didn't really call out Jokic. What he said was he felt like Shea should have won the MVP and Jokic should not have. And then he proceeded to congratulate him. But everybody in the media, all the fans are saying that that wasn't the time to say that to Nikola Jokic because he didn't give it to himself. Yes, we understand that the media has fell in love with giving Jokic the MVP while others are deserving. And, if you look back at the history of the game, you feel like LeBron, Jordan, several others could have won the MVP every year in the peak of their career because they were clearly the best player. And, are we saying best player, most valuable? That those lines get blurred right there as far as who wins the award. Jalen Brunson's lack of consideration was troubling. And then you look at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in the season he had with such a young Oklahoma City team being the leader of the team and scoring at the high efficient clip that he did and leading those guys, to that number one seed. There's no way, he shouldn't have received more consideration with how unanimous it was for Jokic. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, Jokic didn't give it to himself. What is he supposed to do? Not take the award, right? So, people were questioning why Shaq did what he did and why he said what he said. We're going to look at what Shannon said first, and then I'm going to read you Shaq's reply, and then we're going to listen to what Shannon said after that. Let's check it out.
We're never going to see another guy Shaq's size with his athleticism that was as dominant as him. Shaq should have 5 MVPs. He sees a guy like Nikola Jokic that's not as dominant as him and gets 3 and 4 years. But see, when you historically great, they talk about you as great basketball player, the GOAT, and Shaq is never brought up. And I think a part of him is envious of that.
When we talk about the greatest basketball players of all time as far as the GOAT conversation, Shaq's name is never brought up in that?
Yeah. It's hard for me to put somebody in the GOAT conversation with 1 MVP. Regular season. It's hard, Gil. So we're going to take somebody with 1 regular season MVP and put him in front of people that got 3, that got 4, that got 5. If Shaq would have had, if he'd had my work ethic, he'd have had 40,000 points.
Shaq entered the comment section of Shannon Sharpe and he said this. He said, "You took me sticking up for Shea as jealousy of Joker. Shows how smart you are and how you will say anything to get clicks. So here's some clickbait for you. If you ain't ranked in the top 10 of your profession, then you can't speak on me. Don't forget, I know what you did to get where you're at. Me jealous? Sounds like you jealous. I know you trying to stay relevant by gossiping on your podcast. We don't believe you. You need more people. And in case you forgot, 4 rings, 3 finals MVPs, top 50 and top 75. Google me. And to be quite frank, all this new success you got, you still under me. You don't know my work ethic. But according to you, I work less than you, but I'm worth more than you. Make it make sense. Love you too. If you need help making money, it's better ways than gossiping. I'm too old for this ish. Love always, the most dominant big man ever who never took it serious. Remember, I don't know you. And in the words of Skip Bayless, I'm better than you. G14 classification, I have it. You don't. Not in my profession. And your GOAT debate, never wanted to be the GOAT. I wanted to be who you should greet me as, the most dominant ever, the apex predator. So that was Shaq's response, to Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe caught wind of that while he was live on Nightcap. And this is what he had to say in response.
Ocho, everyone's family. Okay. Shaq, about the comments that I said last night. Shaq said, "You took me sticking up for Shea as jealousy of Joker shows how smart you are and how you say anything to get clicks." That's not what I did. But anyway, so here's the clickbait for you. If I ain't ranked in the top 10 in your profession, then you can't speak. Don't forget, I know what you did to get where you're at. Me jealous sounds like you jealous. I know you're trying to stay relevant by gossiping on your podcast. We don't believe you. You need more people in case you forgot. 4 rings, 3 finals MVPs, top 50, top 75. And to be quite frank, all this success you got still under me. You don't know my work ethic, but according, I work less, but not blah, blah, blah. But anyway, love you too. If you need help making money, it's better ways than gossiping. I'm too old for this ish. Love always, the most dominating big man ever. Never took it serious. Remember, I know you, and you know words of Skip Bayless. I'm better than you. Hashtag G14 classification. I have it. You don't. Not in my profession.
Wait, when that happened?
He just about 10 minutes ago.
Wait,
I've never.
Shaq in the chat?
No, he on IG. I've never professed. I've never professed that I was as great as Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say,
yes, sir,
I got what I got because I worked my ass off. Now, yes, Shaq has been the one that said that he didn't work as hard, he didn't train as hard, he didn't eat as well as he should have.
Right.
Shaq is the one that anytime someone wins an MVP, he talks about how he should have been the MVP over Steve Nash. Now, you guys have heard me speak glowingly. I say Travis Kelce is better tight end than I was. So was Gronk. So was my guy, what's his name? For the Chargers. Antonio Gates, Gonzo, Big Winslow. I'm cool. I got no problem. You know why I got no problem, Ocho, with giving people credit?
Right.
Because I got everything out of my God-given ability. God gave me the ability to do what I could do. But he gave me discipline. He gave me dedication, the way I trained, the way I ate, the way I slept. So this was all I could get.
Right.
Now, I would have felt some type of way if I'd have got these numbers and I half-assed it. But I never half-assed it. Kobe said Shaq should have won, and they should have won.
Right.
But my thing is that you can't, and it says greatest characters. It's Shaq, I'm the greatest character. No, am I a top 100 player? No. Am I the equivalent as a football player as Shaq was as a basketball player? No. But what I did do is that I maximized that. And my question, if Shaq and because it's rough on the back. My question is, do you believe that you gave everything you possibly could in basketball? Did you train the way you should have? Did you eat the way you should have? That just goes to show you how great you was. That you allowed your weight to get out of control. The injury started to creep up, and you got 4 rings, and you got 3 finals MVP.
Let me examine a few things. So Shaq, when looking at his career and looking at Jokic's career, I think Shannon's argument's a little bit skewed when he says, how can he put someone with 1 MVP over someone with 3 MVPs? Make no mistake about it. Shaq is over Nikola Jokic as an all-time great player. I love Nikola Jokic. I love everything he can do. But Shaq, defensively and stuff, and Shaq wasn't the greatest defender, but he was not a liability by no stretch of the imagination. Jokic, we see that he's food. When people get downhill and he's in the paint, he's food, So they just had such a talented team, and those wings were able to erase some of the defensive mistakes until they ran into a team like Minnesota. Now they're struggling with that right now, that has the same length as them. But nah, man, I think Shaq is clearly way over Jokic still as an all-time great player. Jokic still has so much more to do. And I like what Jokic is doing, but I think his limitations, Shaq didn't have them. But I do think, maybe Jokic plays at a higher level for longer. So we'll revisit this later, but already putting Jokic over Shaq's entire career is wild to me. But yeah, man, Shaq, what he said to Jokic though was whack, and you should never come off like that. It seems like to me Shaq is very he's very unhappy. He comes off as a guy who has all the money, all the wealth you could ask for, all the status, and staying relevant as far as people recognizing him as long as you possibly can, and still not being happy in the midst of all of that. He just strikes me as that guy, man, and it's very sad and unfortunate when you have money and wealth and all these things that he has, and you can't find any happiness, because that's a lonely place to be, right? If you don't take care of the things that money can't buy early, then you left to take care of those things after you have money, which could be scarier, because you have everything and feel empty. Now, it's different feeling empty and not having anything, you know what I'm saying? Building character and growing at the same time, but then trying to go back and erase some of the character flaws and stuff, but you have money. He's looking at women now, Do you love me because I'm Shaq, or do you really love me? So it's gonna be hard to kind of find, that type of woman. We saw Shannon come out and say she didn't love him the other day, and Shaq just responded, "I wouldn't have loved me either." He wished her all the best. So he knows he made some terrible mistakes, and it looks like to me, and this is just my humble opinion, it looks like it's coming out in his profession. We'll see him get mad at Chuck over seemingly nothing sometimes on Inside the NBA, just regular joking that they always do, and he be ready to take it, a little bit too far. And so, I think Shaq, man, you have something to offer as far as an analyst, and you have things to offer this world. But coming at Jokic like that, man, you gotta let that man have his moment. He won the MVP. Like I said, what is he supposed to do? Not take the award? They gave him the award. He's gonna take it. It's being presented to him, right? So there's nothing Jokic can do but take it. Like, I don't know what people expect Jokic to do. I think we're more mad at the voters and the people in the high positions in the NBA that have something to do with that. Not Jokic itself. He just out there playing. He just giving himself a chance to win it, which you should do as the player. You got to look at perspectives and from the lens of who we're talking about. From Jokic lens, yes, let me win the MVP every year. I'm playing so hard. I'm training in the off season. I want to be the best I can be. Let me win. But we think Shea and Jalen Brunson should have won it though. One of those guys. One of those guys. No, people say Luka too. His style of basketball to me though, I would still say Brunson and Shea just because of where their teams ended up at. Those are my picks. But I want to know what you guys think about this Shannon Sharpe, Shaq little beef that's going on right now. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.
Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down.
I'm not going to take it down.
Skip, 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 skip.